What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Gen X Army Vet channel. Thank you for tuning in for another reaction video. This one comes from Seattle, here where I'm at. About, I would say, maybe a 15-minute walk from here to Pier 55. And this little weird-looking guy down the bottom here, he shot this senior disabled veteran from the Navy in the chest with a .45 because he thought that he had stolen valor. Let's check it out.
Harold Powell Sr. proudly wears his military hat and displays this on his wall.
Well, it means everything to me. That's who I am. I was in the United States Navy Submarine Service for 14 years, and I transferred out.
Powell performs regularly along Seattle's busy waterfront, positioning himself next to a sign that highlights his military service as he entertains tourists.
Don't mean to interrupt, but I met this guy a couple of times when I used to work for this security company a couple months back. Over at Coleman Dock. So yeah, I ran into this guy a couple of times. He would come in and out. He would come to the ferry and do his thing, hang out, talk to us, and he would go about his business. So yeah, guy seems pretty nice, pretty cool, you know. But yeah, like I said, he's missing a leg. He's a veteran. We exchange stories. You know, I used to talk, about the Navy because I'm Army, and he says stuff about the Army. So we go back and forth exchanging jabs, but it was all in fun. But yeah, I was surprised when I heard about this guy actually getting shot.
Played different tamarines with different songs.
But an encounter on July 31st quickly turned violent. Powell describes the events that led to this moment.
I was getting ready to leave, and a gentleman walked up to me. He says, "How long are you gonna be here?" I said, I'm wrapping up. I said, "Why?" He says, "'Cause you're a fake veteran." I said, "Oh, no, I'm a veteran, man."
Powell says he reached into his bag to retrieve proof.
I says, "No, I got ID." He grabbed my belongings.
Police say Gregory Tim ripped off a military patch.
So he took my stuff away, and then people was like, "Hey," because he was trying to take my stuff. So I had a knife, so I took my knife out.
Witnesses say Tim...
He's about to stab the shit out of him with a knife in a wheelchair, coming at you full tilt. Yeah, but it's like I said, it's unfortunate. I don't mean to laugh about it, but it's unfortunate it happened. But yeah, you can't just walk up to anybody just because they have a patch on. He's not wearing it. It's just a patch on a backpack or on like a hat or something. You can't just walk up to somebody and say, "Oh, fake valor." If they're in uniform, fully dressed and decked out, okay, then you could say something. But if they just got a couple of patches on, you don't know what they've done. They maybe have friends, maybe have family members. It's not stolen valor. It's just holding a patch. If he has something that says, "Yeah, I am a veteran," or "I was in the military," you could probably get him for that. Ask, but you can't just walk up to somebody and just get defensive with them just because oh, I think you have fake valor. I walk around my backpack all the time full of patches, so I know he wouldn't do it to me because I'm a full able-bodied male. This guy, he took advantage of, he's in a wheelchair, one leg. What can he do, right? So this little chump right here, he's weak. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Witnesses say Tim did not back down, and Powell took out what was later identified as a holstered airsoft gun. Tim then pulled a gun from his own backpack and shot Powell in the chest.
I've been shot point blank with a .45. I'm dead.
Police and paramedics rushing in took Tim into custody and Powell to the hospital.
God said, "I can't survive this." That's what I thought.
But he did. After more than a week in the hospital, he's home and not focusing on the violence that almost cost him his life.
I'm living. Keep on living if you're living.
For that, he's thankful.
But what a day, I'm just grateful, I'm grateful I'm here.
That's crazy. Taking a .45 to the chest, probably like maybe 15 feet away. But you see how dude was carrying his bag though, his weapon, like if something happened, if something like me, he come on me and said, "I got stolen valor." You see how long it took him to get his bag, that gun out his bag? I could have charged him up, had him on the ground before he would be able to pull it out. Like I said, he took advantage because this guy's in a wheelchair, missing one leg. It's like little punks like that, little bitches like that are actually walking around Seattle right now. Think that they can do whatever they want just because they think they can, "Oh, you stolen valor. Oh, I don't like the way that you talk about this situation." Like when I wear my Trump hat sometimes, they want to come at me. Like, what are you going to do? Try something. I'm packing. It's going to take me a lot less time than that guy did to pull my weapon out. But yeah, that's how they are here. It's like super liberal. You don't know what the person's history is, what their background is. Just go up to somebody, start, oh, fake valor, stolen valor. And this guy hasn't achieved nothing. Look at him. He just looks like a weirdo. Look. And then his argument is, oh, it's self-defense. It's not self-defense if you approach the guy, cause the situation to begin with, and then when that person tries to defend himself, and he's gonna have a lot more leeway because he's a guy, disabled, missing a leg, in a wheelchair. So even if he did pull his gun out to, try to defend himself, he has perfect right. He's well within his right. But it's an airsoft pistol. It shoots BBs. Basically a BB gun. Depending on if it's the BBs or the plastic BBs, but still a BB gun nonetheless. You can't kill nobody with that. And this guy pulls out an actual gun. Guy's in a wheelchair. I hear he's back away. Oh, he's got a knife. Back away. And just move on with your day. But no, he chose to pull out a gun and shoot. So now he's in prison, well, jail right now, for like $750,000 bond. And because he's an idiot. I'm gonna run it back one more time right when he gets shot. Here he goes. Look.
I says, no, I got ID. He grabbed my belongings.
Police
See, all he had to
Gregory
do, right there, he was already back. He probably, look at that. He's probably about a good 10, 15 feet away. All he had to do was just walk about his way, okay, my bad, I'm an idiot. But no, he provoked the situation.
Ripped off a military patch.
Look at him. He's coming up there in a wheelchair. What can this guy do to you? He's that much of a snowflake, that much of a pussy, where he felt threatened. Look, with a knife. Yeah, it's a big-ass knife, don't get me wrong. Crocodile Dundee knife. That's a knife. But still, he's in a wheelchair. The speed he's moving at, that's his max speed.
He took my stuff away, and then people was like, hey, because he was trying to take my stuff, so I had to.
Look at this old dude. You're like, yo, that's it. Look at that knife, though. That's a big-ass knife. But still, he had no right to come start bothering this guy. It blows my mind.
I took my knife out.
Witnesses say Tim did not back down, and Powell took out.
Look, all he had to do, he moved out. When he got up there close, he took some more steps back. All he had to do was just leave, get out the area. But this little punk, I want to call him other names, but it's YouTube, and yeah, I'm trying to keep this video monetized, if it does get monetized. But yeah, what can he do? He's missing a leg. He's in a wheelchair. All he had to do was just give him his patch back, even if he didn't agree with him. Throw the patch back to him and walk the hell on. It would have been done. But he chose to make this. Now he's in jail. But Seattle, the way Seattle is, Washington laws, they're probably going to, probably give him a little spank on the wrist and move him on his way. But, I don't know, that's to be seen. I'm going to be following this court case because it's going to get wild. But I'm glad the guy's safe. I'm glad he's, doing better. He recovered. He's out the hospital. He's back at home while this guy sitting in prison. And I hope that they know what he's done. I hope they just, put their hands on him.
What was later identified as a holstered airsoft
Look
gun.
Tim. If you're going to carry a weapon, by the way, just side note, you're not going to carry it in a backpack on your back. Look, if he was able-bodied, if he had his legs, both legs, he could have ran up there and knocked him over. That easy. It just shows that he has no type of gun training whatsoever.
And then pulled a gun from his own backpack and shot Powell in the chest.
Struggling.
Shot point blank with a 45. I'm dead.
Police and paramedics rushing in took Tim into custody and Powell to the hospital.
That's sad. But like I said, I'm glad he's doing better. I'm glad he's recovering. Whatever he gets, I don't know if he's going to be able to get anything because, depending on what this guy has, if he's monetary-wise, he might not be able to sue. You could rock a civil lawsuit, but we'll see where that goes. It is Seattle, and they are snowflakes here. Trust me, I see them every day. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about this. Comment down below. Send your love to, Mr. Powell here. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll help me out a lot. And I'll catch you next video. Peace.